you shared with me not too long ago this article from the Wall Street Journal, and it was titled "The Divide Between CMOs and CEOs is Growing." Why is there this disconnect between marketing leaders and CEOs? And we see this a lot in our program. What is the reason, do you think, behind this? And it's specifically marketing. This is specifically targeting that marketing role, not sales, not operations, not finance. What is going on here?
This is something that I have been studying now for at least, I would say, since 2015.
Yeah.
I wrote about this in Banking on Digital Growth, and it comes down to one word. It's fear.
Hmm.
It's fear of the unknown. It is a lack of understanding from the C-suite into the role of marketing. It's what is marketing? How has marketing changed? Marketing's changing at an exponential rate. Why? Because consumers are changing at an exponential rate. Why? Because technology and the competition is changing at an exponential rate. How do we prove what's working to begin with in the first place? I want to say the average tenure for a CMO is around 18 months, more
Wow.
or less. And so that's not a lot of time for a CMO to get in there and make some positive progress, because by the time that they go in, they do a listening tour, they learn the lay of the land, they talk to internal stakeholders, they talk to external stakeholders. Maybe they get to apply and implement a little bit of strategy, and then the CMO is off to the next thing.
Now, are the CMOs exiting, or are they being shown the door?
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I received 2 direct messages very recently from a couple of marketing executives, high-level senior executives at financial brands, and both are feeling frustrated with their current organizations. One organization essentially has clipped the wings of marketing and has pushed marketing into a tactical implementer role. And so I can see this one particular individual probably will not be there much longer, already is looking for somewhere where they feel valued and respected for their knowledge and their expertise. The other organization, it is clearly a misunderstanding into the role of marketing at a senior C-suite level. I think there's opportunity there
Hmm.
to for them to provide some perspective, to provide some knowledge and education. But I would say a good way to frame this is marketing has a marketing problem, not externally,
Right.
but it's an internal problem, if you will.
Yeah. So I want to come back to the first CMO that you talked to with the getting their wings clipped, but with the second one of the points in this article, it's a statistic that says that 9 out of 10 CEOs say that the role of marketing is clearly defined at their companies. Now, on the other hand, only 22% of CMOs say that their job is well defined. Where is this disconnect? How do we get so far off on our expectations?
It's a changing world, particularly through the lens of financial services. You know, the way that people shop, the way that people buy has massively transformed over the last 2 decades.
Right.
It's transformed a lot even over the last 5 to 10 years. And with these transformations of consumer behavior, that lack of knowledge is impacting the go to market strategies for financial brands. And so historically, in a quote unquote broadcast world, you could go out, buy a list, do some direct mail within a 3 mile radius of your branches, and expect to see some type of lift.
Sure.
So, direct response marketing, if you will, but you're only going to influence buying behaviors for those who are in the market for whatever it is that you're quote unquote promoting. But now, with the rise of the internet, the way that people buy has changed. they're now in control of the buying journey. They're going out and searching and researching and gaining some knowledge into how they might be able to solve their problems. That that buying behavior has even transformed so much that within particular demographics, they're not even going to Google anymore to do this type of exploratory research. They're going to TikTok. And if you
Right.
think about what TikTok was in 2018, 2019, it was musically. It was an app that kids were dancing on. So within 3 or 4 years, we've seen this rapid transformation of people researching differently, and to try to bring that knowledge in to a financial brand. Yes, you can work and educate a marketing team on these transformations, but if others within the organizations, whether that be the CEO or the COO or the CTO or the CFO or the CLO and all of their supporting teams, if they don't understand these transformations of buying behavior, they're still going to be have a mental construct like people are buying like it's 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012.
So why is it that, so we know marketing is evolving. Those in the marketing department understand that. Where's the disc? Why doesn't the CEO and those in the C-suite, why are they not aware of these changes? And I'm curious how much maybe the demographic has to do with it. Historically, if you think about CEOs and those in the C-suite,
It's definitely not a ageism thing, if you will. It's an experience thing.
sure.
And that's one of the reasons when working with organizations over the past, I would say 6 to 9 months, leading up into 2024 and beyond, I've been asking, how old were you in
Mm,
1994? It's a very uncomfortable conversation to have, but everyone's laughing within 5 minutes because I have a hypothesis that how old an individual was in 1994, if they were even born in 1994, is directly influencing how they perceive the world today.
right.
And to your point, it's perspective, it's context and framing. And once again, so this has nothing to do about age. Age is just a number. It's about experience and how we each experience the world through our own lens of reality. And if one, say, was in 1994 maybe 30 or 40 years old, that would make them 60, late 60s, early 70s now. That was a very different contextual experience than, say, talking to a leader who was maybe 10 in 1994, who would be in their early 40s. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times senior leaders and executives have a perspective that, well, whenever I was 20, this is how the world was. Whenever I was 30, this is how the world was. Whenever I was 40, this is how the world was. Whenever I was 50, this is how the world was. And they think that the world is now for a 20, 30, or 40-year-old, 50-year-old is exactly like it was back then. And we know that it's not, it's exponentially different. So this requires a lot of what I call digital empathy, being able to step outside of our world context, let go of what we know, if you will, and gain a whole new perspective that reframes a path forward into the future.